Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another historic gameplay video featuring an updated Lifegain deck, updated with new Modern Horizon 3 cards. So before we get into new cards, what have we removed? So first off is Inquisitor Captain. This is probably the one card that I would actually leave in because it's very powerful. It's a 4-mana creature that when it ETBs, you seek 2 creatures with 3 mana or less, put one into play, and I can't remember, put the other one back into your library. The main reason I removed it is because I want to try out some new cards, and it's an alchemy card, and while I have no problem with alchemy, there's a part of me that thinks it should stay in alchemy and shouldn't really be in historic or timeless. But I said it's the one card I probably would put in. The other main card we lost is Scurry Oak. Scurry Oak had another win condition. Basically, whenever you put a counter on it, a +1/+1 counter on it, you create a creature. So the combo was you have Scurry Oak, play Scurry Oak while you've got, say, for example, a Soul Warden. You'll gain a life from Scurry Oak. If you then got Heliod in play, because you've gained life, you can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, put down the Scurry Oak, it will create a token, you gain a life, and you go on. You gain infinite life and create infinite tokens. So it's a win condition because you gain infinite life, but it's quite long and boring. So we've taken that as well. And the only other card we removed is we had one copy of Final Showdown, which was a sweeper or potential sweeper from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. We've also made some changes to the mana base, which I'll get into in a second. So what have we gained? So the 2 new cards for Modern Horizons 3 are Guide of Souls and Ocelot Pride. So Guide of Souls is a very powerful new card. It's 1 mana 1/2, and as whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and get an energy. So this is another life gain enabler, and then it has whenever you attack, you may pay 3 energy. When you do, put 2 +1/+1 counters and a flying counter on target attacking creature. It becomes an angel in addition to its other types. This is really good because one of the issues with this deck is potentially getting through. Your big life gain hitters don't have evasion. Voice of the Blessed can gain flying quite easily, but it can still be chumped. So making Trelasara a flyer as well, or maybe put a flying count on Heliod, is potentially very, very powerful. And the second one we have is Ocelot Pride. It's a 1 mana 1/1 with First Strike and Lifelink. It has Ascend, and then it says at the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, create a 1/1 white cat creature token. Then if you have a City's Blessing, for each token you control that enters the battlefield this turn, create a token that's a copy of it. So Ascend is from original Ixalan. I don't know if it came back in the recent Lost Caverns of Ixalan, but it basically says you ascend once you have 10 permanents on the board, and you can't lose Ascend once you've got it. So once you've got 10 permanents, this doubles up your token creation. So this is very powerful. You know, if you have one of our life gain enablers like Guide of Souls, you play this, you gain life. At the end of a turn, you create another creature, you gain another life, get another energy. And then if you have 10 or more permanents, which you will very quickly, you create an extra cat token as well. We don't have a huge amount of token synergy. I think the only other token we can create is from Prosperous Innkeeper. But this is a great way to just get loads and loads of small creature tokens and then get additional life for our life gain payoffs, which are Voice of the Blessed, 2 mana 2/2. When you gain life, put a counter on it. As long as it has 4 more counters, it has Flying and Vigilance. And as long as it has 10 or more counters, it has Indestructible. It is pretty easy to get to that 10 plus counters. And then Trelasara, whenever you gain life, put a counter on it and Scry 1. So this is a great way to see what we're going to be drawing next. We have made some other changes as well, which don't involve new cards. So I'm doing 1 copy of Case of the Uneaten Feast. I did try it more copies, but one of the issues is, so it's a enchantment case that costs 1 mana, and it has whenever a creature ETBs under your control, you gain 1 life. That's great. That's what we want to do. However, the problem is because it's not a creature, it doesn't trigger your other life gain triggers. So if you draw this late on and you play it, you're not going to get a trigger from Soul Warden or Guide of Souls or Lunarch Veteran because it's not a creature. Whereas you want that trigger to make your creatures go off. But it does have, when to solve it, you gain 5 more life in this turn. That's not particularly difficult. And once it's solved, you can sacrifice it whenever you want. creature cards in your graveyard gain, you may cast this card from your graveyard until end of turn. So we've gone with one copy in case of sweepers. We can rebuild our board a bit. We are mana light, so we won't be able to cast everything, but it's a great way to get back. So I said I did try 3 copies instead of 1 and 2 copies of Lunarch Veteran, but I put 2 copies of Lunarch Veteran back in. Because it is a creature, it does trigger all your other life gain triggers as well. The other spot is, we did try this in Timeless, so we did try Solitude in here, but the problem is Timeless is basically just too powerful, really, and especially the new elemental incarnations, especially Fury, just destroy this deck. So we moved it back into Historic, went back to Skyclave Apparition, which is a very solid removal spell, and it's one I think a lot of people don't understand, because you see a lot of people remove it and I think they must think they get the creature back when they don't, or the permanent back. And the other one we changed is, so I did try Resplendent Angel. One of Resplendent Angel is a 3/3, a 3 mana 3/3 with flying, and it has, at the end of your turn and end step, if you gain 5 life, create a 4/4 flying angel token, which is really powerful. And then you can pay 6 to give itself +2/+2 and lifelink, so it could trigger that end of step as well. But I thought that's a bit win more, and it is a powerful card, so I've decided to go with 1 copy of Steel Seraph. So Steel Seraph we can play for 3, it's a 3 mana 3/3 with flyer, but then at the beginning of combat on your turn, you target creature you control gains flying, vigilance or lifelink, and this can be really powerful. As I said earlier, one of the big issues is Trelasara doesn't have flying, so it can be chumped all day long. So you can give it flying, or you can give it vigilance. If you think there's a Wandering Emperor in the future, Voice of the Blessed will gain flying and vigilance very quickly. And even if you just need that life gain trigger, you can give one of your creatures life gain and swing them with it and get that trigger to pump everything else. So we've gone with 1 copy of this just to see how it works out. Mana base is pretty standard. However, we have gone no tap lands at all. In the previous one, I had some tap lands. I had like Skyland, but I've gone 4 copies of Razor Verge Thicket. So it's a fast land, so it ETBs tapped unless we control 2 or a few other lands. So it might come in tapped later on, but we need it early doors. We also have 4 copies of Brushland. That 1 damage to you is not going to make a difference in a life gain deck. And then a standard Pathway, some Forests and Plains, an Arganjo and a Boseiju. We do need more white mana early, and we need 2 white mana for Voice of the Blessed and for Skyclave Apparition. So that's why we have more plains and forests, but hopefully we draw all these dual lands early. That's a deck. The original life game one was 90% win rate. We went 9-1, and that one was right at the very end. So we're not going to be able to beat that, because that would be impossible, almost impossible. And I'll tell you now, from the games I've played, testing it, the format's got more powerful, even in Historic, where the elemental incarnations are banned. Toxic Deluge, for example, just wipes the board, which is unfortunate. So we'll see how we get on. Hope you'll enjoy it. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my gameplay. So we don't have our main life gain payoffs, but we can get a lot of creatures on the board with Ocelot Pride and gain a lot of life, and hopefully this we can draw into, say, Voice of the Blessed or Trelasara, and hopefully our creatures don't get removed. We might be up against the mirror match. Well, that's what we wanted to see. And next turn, we can essentially play both Ocelot Prides, grow the Voice of the Blessed by a lot, or not. Oh, 3 Ocelot Prides, okay. Do with more mana. I won't trigger this. I'll put it on one of the Ocelot Prides next turn. Making that a 3/3 first strike lifelink. Be very powerful, but obviously we do want a Trelasara. Well, we want a Voice of the Blessed. We don't have any green mana. That's what we want. So that's going to get huge very, very quickly. I'm going to attack with one of the Ocelots. And I will pay 3 to make it into a 3/3 lifelinker. There we go. The turn it comes down, it gets 6 tokens. And now obviously, if they have another ossification or removal, hello Haunting, I'm not particularly scared of. There is green mana. I will play out Steel Seraph. We will give our current flying one vigilance and we'll attack with everything. Should have just clicked a tackle and brought back the Guide of Souls. We got 12 in the air. Obviously they can gain some life back from the Naturalist, but that's a lot less they're going to be taking. Almost dead. Voice of Blessed now has Indestructible. And obviously, yeah, they need another ossification. They need more than that because we had 2 flying 3/3 lifelink first strikers with our 2 Ocelot Prides. So it shows how powerful Guide of Souls can be. No life gain triggers apart from Ocelot Pride. It has got first strike. Sure, let's keep it. Against DRC. And next turn, hopefully we can do that again. Well, maybe we don't even need to. This is a pretty good hand. We can Soul Ward on turn 1, Trelasara turn 2, and then Prosperous Innkeeper and Ocelot Pride turn 3, even if we don't draw extra land. And then Trelasara will start scrying for our deck. So ramp deck. If it is mono green, I'm not that fussed about removal. They're going big on ramp. Yeah, so let's play out Trelasara. I'm fine with a Guide of Souls. They might have some fight spells, but our creatures hopefully should get too big. I'm not even that fussed about Pelucranos because we'll be able to outgrow Pelucranos. So what we'll do is we'll play out the Innkeeper, which will give us a token, a treasure, sorry. Don't have enough mana for Collected Company. And then we'll Ocelot Pride for now. 2 collected companies, don't need them. We do need a land though. Yeah, just shows the value. Turn 3 we had an 8/8 Trelasara, which could block all their creatures, and up against aggro decks, you know, the damage we take, you know, they could swing it for 8. We don't need a block. We'd be down to 19. Next turn we go up to like 23 or something again. So shows the power against aggro decks. Soul Warden in the Voice of the Blessed, so this is definitely a keeper. And then we can Innkeeper and Loon Up Veteran to just get loads of triggers. Now, they're going to have removal, which is probably a problem. I'm going to play Loon Up Veteran. I would much rather that die than Soul Warden. And what I might do then is I might hold off playing Voice of the Blessed until I can get a couple of triggers. Maybe play Innkeeper into Soul Warden next turn. And hopefully one of them will survive. Yeah. Well, what we'll do is then we'll play Guide of Souls and a Soul Warden. Get an energy. Now, so hopefully next turn something survives, and then we can play Innkeeper and Voice of the Blessed. That does not bother me in the slightest. So we will play our Plains, play Innkeeper. And play Voice of the Blessed, which will immediately get 3 counters. Which won't be impossible for them to kill, but it will be tough. And obviously, if they play... you climb back now. We do have Trelasara in our hand. So if they play another creature before killing Soul Warden, it will trigger another life gain. And even if they do kill Voice of the Blessed, it will take probably most of their turn. And next turn we can play Trelasara, put a bunch of counters, and Loon Up Veteran, put a bunch of counters on everything. Again, that doesn't bother me. Ooh, another Plains. Scry, see what's on top of our deck. Voice of the Blessed now has Flying and Vigilance. We'll keep another Voice of the Blessed. But I think this is pretty much game over without wanting to count my chickens. Let's swing in. Sure, let's make it an angel. Now, they do assign combat damage as if we weren't blocked, but they only have 8 and 2 cards. I don't think they can do 22. And we do have an 8/8 and a 14/14 indestructible on defense. They're just keying himself. Yeah, fair enough. Take the honourable way out. Guide of Souls in the Trelasara is a good hand, and then Lunark Veteran can gain even more life, and we even have a backup Trelasara if they remove one, which I'm sure they will if they're in red. What do they discard though? Oh, we're playing a Madness deck. Wouldn't mind another 1-drop. Have they got another Root Waller? They've got another Madness card. I'm not particularly fussed because... Well, there's that other 1-drop. Because with a Lifegain deck, I'm not particularly bothered about taking damage. Sure, I'll keep a Coco for now. And I'll swing in with the Guide of Souls. So next turn we can Lunark Veteran and Guide of Souls. Not in that order, we'll Guide of Souls first. Yeah, that's fine. We're down to 14. Down to 13. But hopefully we should be able to put Flying Cow on Trelasara. So we play the Guide of Souls first. Yeah, that lets us cast Collected Company. So we'll attack with both. Take action. An 8/8 flyer. Do they chump the guide? They do not. So depending on what they do, we made a Coco in our turn. Because that might allow us to get lethal. Well, they're going for it. Surely have to keep Kitchen Imp back. They attack with everything, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Right, let's Coco, see what we hit. Voice of the Blessed and a Soul Warden. I don't think it really matters. But we can give flying to at least one of the Guide of Souls. Both of them. And obviously you have a Voice of the Blessed that can block the Kitchen Imp if somehow this isn't lethal, but it is just from Trelasara. Yes. I mean, a 15-15 flying to your face. I don't know why they didn't keep that the Kitchen Imp back to jump it, but then we could have given Guide of Souls flying as well to get in for some damage. So yeah, a really good result there. Against what I would say is a bit of a tight match. Life total did get quite low, but I don't think it was actually that tight in the end. Up against JR Hunter, which is quite worrying because in real life my initials are JR. They're out to kill me. We don't have a Voice of the Blessed or Trelasara, but Guide of Souls into Ocelot Pride and 2 of them each will be able to create a lot of energy and a lot of creatures, and we can make Ocelot Pride a flyer and put 2 +1/+1 counters on it pretty quickly, I think. They did Mulligan down to 6. Maybe a mirror match. So next turn we can play another Guide of Souls, put a counter on the Ocelot Pride. Oh, that's going to be a bit of a problem, but I'm not that fussed by it. We could just Skyclave it. Yeah. We will pay... Yes, there we go. I if I were going in for some kind of Voltron style deck, but obviously just removing their 1 creature just made them not want to continue. Ooh, 1 mana. I don't think we can keep this. But if we draw more white, and it's still a 1 mana, this I think is a mistake. I think Arena wants me to lose this one. Well, there is a green source as well for Trelasara. Don't actually need more land now. And next turn we can essentially play out our hand. And then kill Narset. Trelasara is going to grow huge. I would like another land now for Collector Company. Don't need another Trelasara. Sure, Guide of Souls. We'll put the counters on Guide of Souls so it can kill Narset. I don't need another Guide of Souls. Yeah, I was going to scry back to the bottom that time and see if we can get a land for Coco. But yeah, we were just so far ahead. They played 1 card. We're on the draw. We don't have any payoffs. We do have quite a lot of life gain, and then we have a removal. So sure, hopefully we draw into a Voice of the Blessed or Trelasara or even an Ocelot Pride. Well, there's Voice of the Blessed. Sometimes all you have to do is ask for it. Up against the mono white. We're going to have to Sky Cave Apparition that Authority of Consuls. We draw our own Heliod, but I think, yeah, we've got to Skyclave the Authority of Consuls. And then next turn, we can go off a bit with Lunarch Veteran and Heliod. They should have played that the other way round. Humana. So now our Voice of the Blessed is bigger than theirs. And we have our own Heliod to... Well, our Voice of the Blessed is about the same. We're going to have to chump. That's annoying. Alright, fair enough. This is our loss. That Authority of the Consuls was annoying. Maybe we should have taken out Voice of the Blessed instead with Skyclave Apparition, but I thought we could get ahead of it. But obviously we didn't. Well, this is a easy mulligan. This is better. We can get rid of one of the Skyclaves. Guide of Souls in the Voice of the Blessed. And then if we draw another land, we can Skyclave whatever they play. Against a Goblin deck. Soul Warden will be really good then, because they're going to play a lot of creatures. And basically, we'll just gain life whenever they do. Another 1 or 2 drop would be nice. That's just a land. Well, let's Skyclave their Snoop. They have a lot of non-basics. They've got another Snoop. Well, let's play out Lunarch Veteran. And then we can play out Heliod. We will make Guide of Souls an Angel. They can chump the Skyclave and then maybe they can kill it. Yes. They would have needed a board wipe there, which I don't know if Goblin decks really play. And in mono red, the only real things would be damage based ones. Like Brotherhood's End, Burn Down the House and things like that. Which wouldn't have been enough to kill the Voice of the Blessed anyway, so... No turn 1 play, but Prosperous Innkeeper in the Trellisara is okay. And maybe we draw something and we can remove something they do play early. Mono green elves, maybe. We played this deck already, I think. Play out Trelasara. And maybe we did, because maybe they recognised our play as well. Hello Magic fans, and welcome back to the wrap-up. Well, in the intro I said it would be impossible to better the win rate from the basic Lifegain deck I did a couple of months ago, but we got so close. We went 7-0 before we lost, and that was in not an exact mirror match. They were a mono white Lifegain deck with a few different cards, and I made the wrong choice. I skyclaved their Authority of Consuls. I think if I skyclaved their Voice of the Blessed, we would have won that game. So like, we could have easily been 10-0. But as it stands, we were 9-1. That's not the end of the world, is it? And we were on the draw that game. Maybe if we were on the play, we would have fared a bit better as well. But yeah, Guide of Souls, I think, was the real improvement. Being able to put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature and give it flying turns anything into a threat. You know, you can turn the Guide of Souls can turn itself into a 3/4 flyer, and that's a great attacker and blocker. Ocelot Pride was also really powerful, churn out bodies, and if you can put those counters and flying from the Guide of Souls onto it, you've got a 3/3 flying first strike lifelink. That is very hard to deal with, and obviously it is not hard to do. But the rest of it is just the power of the Lifegain deck with Voice of the Best and Trelasara. So had a lot of fun. I'd say great improvements to the deck. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video.